Welcome to this BAKERpedia seminar all about CapEx, optimizing baking productivity and innovation. I'm Dr. Lynn Carson, your host for today. This seminar is brought to you by A&A Baking Solutions. A&A Baking Solutions was developed by a fourth-generation family of bakers who understand the bakery business's unique needs and issues. With constant innovation and commitment to providing the highest quality and most effective service possible, A&A Baking Solutions provide their clients with the best products, services, and support. Today, we're joined by Julio Aviles. Hi, Julio.
Good morning.
Julio is specialized in business and marketing, a baker since he was 7. He has worked as a technical advisor and bakery R&D director. He is the CEO and founder of A&A Baking Solutions. He is a baker-to-baker evangelist in the Americas. We are also joined by Juan Lara. Hi, Juan.
Hello, how are you?
Good, thank you. Juan is specialized in business administration and international trade. He has more than 25 years of experience in the food industry. A former Puratos general manager for Colombia, he's currently working as a business developer for A&A Baking Solutions. He has worked as a consultant for food and bakery business development. Now, Juan and Julio will share a presentation on CapEx today. So take it away, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
Let me get the presentation ready. And just let me know when it's available, okay? When you can see it.
Oh, it's perfect. Yeah, we see your screen.
It's perfect. Oh, right. All right.
Okay, we're seeing the speaker note screen.
Pardon me? I don't.
We're seeing
Yeah,
your speaker note screen, not the main screen. You want to share your presentation, not the speaker notes presentation.
Let me hold on one second.
there
Yeah,
we go.
while you get there, Julio, tell us a little bit more about A&A. Like, where are you working out of, and who do you represent?
Yes, first of all, thank you for the opportunity to share our story with you guys. Yeah, we are based in Miami to cover North and South America. We have different partners. Right this morning, we're gonna talk about our main line, which is Portland, Mass from Turkey.
Okay.
We've been working with this project since 2016. Even we opened 2017. Our portfolio is based for artisan, mid-size, wholesaler, and pilot plants for larger players. Most of the time when you have a very large operation, you don't want to stop the big line to run 2,000 pieces an hour or something like that. So
Correct.
we could supply that need. And in the artisan, we could start from the mixer and the rest by hand to all the way to 15 bags, 15 bags an hour, 15 to 30 bags an hour of flour. So 1,800 pieces per hour basically is what we could do. And
Great.
we've been doing that, since we were kids. My cousin and I, Roberto and I, he's not here with us today, but we've been working in the industry since we were like little babies. And so we could offer you guys advice or share concept, even if you are like a hand baker, all the way to mid-sized players.
Awesome. So
All
Juan
right.
has the presentation up. Juan, why don't you go ahead?
We are ready to go now, Lynn. Thank you very much. Okay, so hello everybody. Thank you for being with us. We are very glad to be here. It's a pleasure to share our humble experience with Julio. The methodology will be, we're gonna be talking with Julio like in a conversation, okay? And we'll be presenting some ideas that we have about the bakery business, especially facing all the productivity and innovation. And afterward, we can answer the questions you may have, okay? So let's start. This is basically, these are equipments, but the idea in this presentation is not talk especially about equipments, but how can we create a relationship with the people that are willing to improve their businesses. Equipment will be something very important, but as you will see, there are many things to do besides that, okay? So, okay, Julio, here we are.
Yes.
We're going to talk about process and equipment together. If process and equipment are together, it's one thing. And we'll start by saying that there should be a conscious harmony between both process and equipment. How's that, Julio?
Yes. As we as a baker, you guys and us, always have the idea that the best formula is the one that's gonna win the market. But every year you could see more and more the interaction between ingredients, process, and equipment. It's a very important way to grow our business. Um, that's why we always look everything as with the baker's eyes. We don't sell equipment just to sell the equipment. We basically what we help to understand together with our clients. We deeply understand the need, and then from the need back, we put together things, and that is the way that we do.
And let me add something, Julio. When we're talking about production process, when it's more accurate, the quality of the product will improve definitely, isn't it?
Yes, yes. The process, once you get everything situated and in place, and the accuracy that we have in at the time you're gonna cut from the beginning to the end of the a batch, and it will improve significantly the quality.
And the recipe and the equipment performance are a must. So it's to be like they should be like dancing, the recipe and the equipment.
Yes, definitely. It's you have the best recipe and your equipment is not performance at the same level, you will not get result. And you have like a perfectly aligned equipment, and the formula is not it is not balanced. You will get different results. So it's important to work together with both.
So final product is the result of a smooth interaction of ingredients, process, and equipment. That would be like the conclusion, isn't it?
Exactly. As I mentioned before, is to integrate all these elements is what gonna bring the maximum results for you. At the end, the best of everything. If at the end you're not able to put in the market what you're looking to deliver, so it's not don't worth it. So that's why it's important to put together all the elements in this equation.
So the way the equipment handles the dough affects tremendously the results. I mentioned this because from my perspective and my experience, I used to be like more in the ingredient side of the business. Julio was always in the beginning when he was a child. He used to work for a bakery as a baker, and then you became an expert in like a technical demonstrator, isn't it? But then after that, uh, Julio and I have had the opportunity to work with the equipment itself, not only the ingredients and the recipes. And then we have seen how important it is to do the marriage between the equipments and the ingredients and the recipe, isn't it?
Yes. As Juan mentioned, being in a family baker since I was a kid, so I learned how to make by hand the mixing. During my professional career, I was technical advisor. After that, R&D director. So we've been involved in every single part, and I always say we are bakers with equipment to sell. So we always look how, with the baker's eyes, this will bring value to the bakery. And then once we get this, then if it's something that is need from us, then the customer buy. But I suggest you guys always evaluate your suppliers in terms of how can they improve your operation. This is the key here.
That's correct. The last one here in this chart is that from the expected result backwards, in order to define the adequate equipment for your particular production. Could you explain that, Julio? I think that's very, very important.
Yes. Again, with the baker's eyes, we look for the product you need to put in the market. And then after that, we decide which equipments were more suitable for your project. And what is today, what is in a year, 5 years, we always help to understand the capabilities in a modular concept. So you could start at whatever level you are today and keep adding and growing as step by step as you need.
Correct. There are more reflections about the process and equipment. One is that bakers do not necessarily need to be experts in equipment. How's that, Julio?
Yeah, in a bakery we have so many things to take care. The business, the team members, the opportunities, and everything. If you need to be involved in like every mechanical issues or whatever, it will be tough. It is possible. You could find bakers that are very good in equipment, but in general, we try to supply that need for the customers just to be sure we could take care of all these little details for you as a baker.
You mean that after you choose a supplier for the equipment parts, you should keep like the communication permanently with them, have a relationship with them, so you make sure that all the processes are working synchronized?
Yes, yes. Even most of the customer have my cell phone. It's in case something happens, something is need, and something is required by you guys. We could get directly communicated. Um, the key here again, it is we to become part of your business, as a solution provider. It's not just to sell one thing, or it's important, again, not for us. It's more for you to evaluate your relationship with your suppliers. That must be like in a personal touch, especially in the when you are with a capex that is limited. Then you need to be sure what you're investing will not be obsolete in 1 or 2 years. You need to maximize your capex.
Yeah, correct. From my experience here in Colombia, what usually happens is that in Colombia, and I would say in South America, in most of the countries, when a baker starts a business, they buy some equipment, not necessarily the best quality. Many countries have some local production that they can produce a regular standard type of bread. And after 10 years, they have the same equipment. The maintenance maybe is not the best possible. So the quality of the products start to go to diminish a little bit. And also they don't have an organized budget to make the proper savings to renew the equipment. Okay, so that's what I have seen here in the regular small bakeries. I wouldn't say that for this industrial bakeries, but it happens. So that's important to also include in the accounting process, that the bakers has all these reserve that they have some savings to make sure that the equipments are always in good shape, and to be able to renew them when it's necessary. So let's go, Julio. But we have to consider an extra expert handling equipment choice and performance in order to optimize the baker expertise. I understand the bakers, they are the experts in the bakery process. How could you complement this?
Yeah. When you grow your production, certain things needs to be adjusted, taking care of the time that will be required to process the dough. So what we try is not just to send the things to you and you figure it out. Is really be together with you guys in the process to implement the bread that you need to put out there in the market. This is very, very important. So we could help the customers to do that. And again, in order to maximize your capital investment. So this is the way we handle that for you.
Okay, about these astonishing results when you can build an allied relationship with the supplier. I mean, could you share with us some of your experiences with one of your customers that when you have this type of relationship, what happened with the product?
Yeah, we have many projects that we've been involved in these last years, and you know it's important for us to know what the goals of the customers are in terms of production, shelf life, and everything. And then we put together this as an ally. You know, the better the business goes for you, it's the best for us. So we we go uh, we go directly to your operations and bring in our network we have more than 13,000 bakers in the world, that if we need to bring somebody with the expertise in certain things, we could bring it in to help you you know, to achieve the goals you have.
Okay,
Yes.
we're talking about the baker to baker approach as a plus. And I think that we have discussed that so far very much. But what I have seen with this baker to baker approach is that when you talk in the same language with the baker itself, it's better to take the best profit of the whole process.
Yes, yes. Again, at the end, the most important thing here is your bakery to grow, and it's our commitment to understand the thing with the same eyes you have, you know, as a baker. And once this is done, then everything will is very smooth, you know, because
It's like a business development process more than a product equipment selling process, or it's not a commercial, not a transactional relationship. It's a business development process, isn't it?
a lot of our projects, yes, I agree with this. A lot of our projects start just with visit, and sometimes the customer don't even need anything from us until like a year after that. But during the process, we could help. We could help to develop, you know, to maximize whatever the customer have, and then when you guys get ready, then we move forward to propose whatever makes sense for your operation. We are doing this. We are doing this for our whole life, and I expect to do that for the rest of my life. You know, but it's the key here is really to help them.
Correct. Let's go
Help your
for
operation.
another idea. It's about the productivity. It says that productivity pays off. So it means that if I work on productivity, I will earn a lot of things. And there's one sentence here that says that when production processes reviewed and adjusted, productivity could increase from more than 500% pieces produced per hour. How come that?
That's actual numbers with couple of our customers. One in specific, it was 570% increase with the same team members. The thing is, in this situation, the customer was basically pushing back new projects because they don't have the capability to serve the prospect, the prospect knocking his doors. And once we put together all the project and adjust, the temperatures to the right thing, the hydration to the right one, and everything, the numbers increased significantly, 570% in that case, over 500%.
Great. Okay, let's talk about expansion, because optimization can be done step by step, isn't it? Equipment by equipment, based on the actual process alignment. So that's what you were mentioning, that you don't need to go at once and do the whole change, okay?
Yeah, we have limited cash when we start in baking. When you want to grow, it is tough. It is tough to put together, all the equipment at once sometimes. But you still have a great product, and you have customer knocking your doors to buy, but you don't have all the money in the world to do it. That's important to this part of the CapEx. It is. We could help to go step by step, grow step by step, in order for you to capitalize your project in the right way. So as you see in the picture, this could be like maybe 2,500 to 3,000 square feet floor plan, and you could have a very decent amount of product getting out of this line. But if you see in the center, the part of the manufacturing part, it is barely like 100 square feet in the equipment. That part
Right
that is
here.
pointing, yes.
We're gonna see that. Yeah, we're
It's
gonna see that.
100 square feet that everybody will have 100 square feet in order to increase their production 500%. It is very, very optimized set of equipment. But as you keep growing, we could add more proofing, more baking, more packaging, slicing, and everything you need.
Okay. So we have here like a list of the different equipment that might be in a regular production process for bread. Okay. Everybody might know all of these equipments for sure. Could you explain us a little bit more about these 4 equipment that are the volumetric dough divider, the rounder, the intermediate proofer, and the dough molder? How does it match in the whole process?
Yes. If we start left to right.
Correct.
Left to right, you could see a flour sifter. Some operations require that, and some operation is not. In some places it's important because in the milling you could find parts, but in the other one is just based on preference of the customer. And then after the sifter, you go to the mixing. Mixing is a very important part of the final bread. If you don't mix appropriately, you cannot get good results. In the technical aspect of these mixers, we have the right angle in the hook and everything, and the speed and everything, in order to develop the dough without damaging, develop the gluten structure without damaging that.
Okay.
After that, the dividing part, which is the one in the square, in the rectangle, you have different ways to divide.
I would like to interrupt you, Julio, for a second, because in the next chart, we're going to talk about each one of them. But my question is more about the The good thing that we can have when we decide to have in our factory the combo itself. Let's talk about the combo, and then we'll talk one by one. So the combo
Okay.
itself, which is the advantage of having a combo, one of these four equipments included in the whole production process, because what I have seen in the customers is that it doesn't matter if the customer is a small one or a bigger one. When they start to use this equipment, the miracles start to happen in the production process.
Yes, this is okay. As you see in the bottom, in the right bottom part, you
Correct,
have like
here.
a little footprint there. It
Yeah,
is 8 by nominal is 8 by 12,
correct,
less than 100 square feet. And in that way, one person, you could start to produce everything with one person, but you could go even up to five if you want to keep growing. So it's this what we call bakery combo. It is very important in order to grow with the same, just you may have just one master baker and then a couple extra hands will increase significantly your production. And that will be constant in terms of quality because you have a window of production of process. If you take like way too long to divide to scale, then the first piece of bread will be different from the last one. So the
correct.
consistency will not be there. So with this will help you to improve your quality. It will be said, let's say you could have a no-time dose or a pre-ferment. Whatever is your decision, it's okay. The machine, the equipment will handle that. But the most important thing is will be constant. Because if you
Those,
decide to do bulk
okay.
fermentation, long bulk fermentation, like every day with the same bulk fermentation, at the time to cut will be consistent, the first to the last one.
So it means that let's say that we want to keep the artisan look of the product.
Yes.
We have some difficulties in the production when we need to do it by hand because it's complicated to have all the resource always available and with the knowledge to do it. So these four equipments will help us to keep the artisan look, but we'll have a production in a smoother way that will give us like quality of life and many other things to improve the production, to innovate, and to reduce cost, isn't it?
Yes. As you mentioned, it's a very important thing not to lose your artisan offer, because
Correct.
that is what is bringing your business to grow.
Correct.
So whatever we decide to do as a baker, uh, it's this equipment will help you to do it consistently.
Okay.
Again, it is key. You don't lose your artisan rustic look if you want, or you want like a super tight chrome or whatever. The equipment is able to do it, and we as a team, you guys and us, we could work together to make sure it's the bread you want to put out there. It's the
Correct.
bread that you
So
feel proud about it.
thank you, Julio. So gradual investment will provide an increase in productivity step by step. It means that you can go step by step. You don't need to go to your supplier and get all the equipment. You could start one by one.
Yes, even now, but you could start step by step, depend on how much you want to invest, I think. But now we also help the customers to get finance for the project, and here in US, and we are able to put together a good proposal to you if it's necessary. And I'm pretty sure your actual supplier, if you ask
Okay.
them, they could do it. But the thing is, it's important to grow as you need and not
Yeah.
to oversell or nothing. Is
What
whatever
what I
is
have
good for you.
sensed what I have sensed, Julio, is that when a bakery is like in a steady process, like like slow and nothing happens, and you go every day to your business and it's all looks like the same every single day, and you say, oh, what should I do to feel this alive? Is when you decide to innovate in in final product or in production process or in customer service. All these are what keeps you alive and keeps you growing and keeps you happy in your business. In this case, when we're talking about equipments, if we decide to start one step by step, you'll have the sensation, the feeling that you are innovating. You're in the innovating process already. And beside equipment, all the other facts so important to keep your business going and growing, isn't it?
Yes, and it's innovation is a very important part of the bottom line.
And we were
Once
talking
you
about this later.
Yeah, later, but the thing is, once you start to grow and you speed up the manual process, you will have more time to innovate and bring extra margin to your operation.
Correct. And then comes the issue about the cash flow. And we used to say, okay, but I don't have the money to invest right now. And the cash flow is not, and I don't have the cash in now to do it. So there's also very important to have access to credits, to a loan, to low interest rates, and have also a projection of the financial projection, a cash flow projection, so you can start to define, okay, if I want to invest this, what should I sell the more? How should I increase my sales? How can we do that?
Yeah, the experience we have with this investment part is we are the brand in America, so you have nobody between the manufacturer and you. We are the execution arm for our brands, and so you always have a very good ratio between quality, performance, and cost, and the this is what is bringing to you the best results. So we could look your project, your budgets, your capital expenditures, and maximize those depend on whatever you have. You could start with just a little piece. Even in the beginning, we could guide you with everything you have. And once get to the point that you need something else, we will be here.
Okay.
This is the way we work.
Julio, we have here some definition of the key equipments. Could you give us like a brief
Yes.
description of each one of those? We need to go
Yeah.
faster because we want to leave some time for the questions. Okay, so
Yes.
let's go on and explain a little bit about each one of those equipments.
And then if somebody have like a specific question, then we could always
Correct.
go back
Just
and,
to let
and
know
check.
everybody, just in case somebody don't know one of these equipment. I assume that most of them they know about it, but just in case.
Yeah, dough development is a super important thing, and will be achieved with the right mixer. The dough development help you to have better result, extra shelf life because hydration, it's a very key thing. We're very happy with the result that our customer are getting with that. And then after that, it's how fast but gentle uh, handling you could have for the dough. You know, again, I mention always the window of the production window you have. It is it is key. Number two now. Yeah, it is key. So the advantage, we are able to run anywhere from like 500 to 1800 pieces per hour. So, whatever is the speed you need, we could go in that range. And this is very important, is to cut fast but gentle the dough. Conical rounding is help a lot to improve the gas retention and get lighter, better breads. And as again, once you get encapsulate all this piece of dough that is already developed, then your bread will have better results. After the
Super.
rounding part, to let the dough to rest could be by hand or using the intermediate proofer. The intermediate proofer will give some rest to the dough in order to properly get molded and with the next equipment. Relaxed and smooth molding is the most important thing. Our molders could go, for anywhere from like a petit pans to baguettes, buns, big pan breads, and it is suitable for all type of dough. If it's like a super hydrated one, we have tests even like 75-ish in a hydration. That is challenging, but it is possible. But we could do like normal dose, like 55, 60% hydration.
Okay. What about the fermentation cabinet?
Um, Fermentation is important. It's very important. It's the final result out of the flavors, the textures, and everything. It is greatly impact for the right fermentation. So if you were able to control temperature, time, temperature of the process, and 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 the water, it is when you get the best result. So you are able to control the humidity, not the water, the humidity, the temperature,
Correct.
and the time, and will have very consistent results. Rack
What about the
ovens.
rotary rack oven?
Yeah, we have rotary rack ovens and deck ovens as well. So the key in ovens, it is two things in my opinion. Even heat distribution to have a uniform baking. But the other thing, I could have exactly the same capacity and everything in one oven and one be completely different to the other one. Uh, in our in our case, we always look for a long-term thing, and the long-term thing is related to how much we could save through the years if you have a better efficient energy efficiencies. And then for that reason, we have an additional 1 ton, 2,000 pounds of metal and double the typical insulation. So in order to prevent the energy to be lost in the baking process. So during the years, that means a lot of savings for the operation.
All
The
right.
stone
Okay.
ovens that I mentioned, we have very even distribution of the heat at the bottom, and you could have very nice flat
What I
bottom and
what I
and volume.
what I have seen and I should recommend is that when you are thinking about getting new ovens, you should make sure about the projections that you expect about your business, because sometimes you decide to buy a small oven to save money, or just because you think that you don't need it. And what I have seen with the logistic of installation of the ovens, especially when you have a bakery and that is in growing process, and you buy a new oven, and when you need to install it, you have to tear down the walls and move a lot of things, and maybe like do a lot of civil engineering changes in your bakery. So when you are planning to grow, it's important to think in a positive way, in a optimistic way, and define different layouts for your business for the future. And especially when you're planning to do an investment, try to buy something a little bigger than you would buy today, just to make sure you don't have to double invest in the future. We have seen that with some of our customers, that they decide to buy, no, I buy a small mixer today, but then after 1 year, they need to buy the bigger one, and they have to sell the old one, and it wasn't a good deal at the end. But this applies especially for the ovens, I would say, because it's such a big equipment that need to be installed adequately, especially in the United States when there are so many laws about that. That's some important recommendation. Okay, let's go for the other, Julio. Let's talk about the productivity in the artisan business. We have defined these charts. I just want to explain from the beginning. These are the mixing process, okay? And we have, let's suppose, two different size of mixers. This one is for 88 pounds per batch. So we would produce in two batches in 1 hour, 176 pounds per hour, okay? If you get a bigger one, then you would be able to go for the 264 pounds of dough per hour. And this will help us to calculate the productivity you want to get. This is the first part of the production. In the second part, when you're gonna do all the dough process, then you will have to use the divider and the conical rounder that they also are able to produce an amount of pounds of sourdough. If we go for a small piece of bread to a bigger piece of bread, then you will have a different quantity of pounds per hour, from 200 to 394 pounds per hour in one equipment, one line, okay? So this will help us to define if we need one line, or maybe like it happens in one of our customers, they decide to have two lines, and if they need in the future a third line, it will be easy to implement. So let's talk about the people here, Julio. I think that's something very important when we put together the productivity and the people that we may need to run these lines.
Yeah. As artisan bakers, we most of the time we are just one of us in the bakery. So it is possible to run a line like that with just one person. The difference will be once you want to maximize the pieces per hour, you may need certain additional hands to basically to pick up the bread at the end of the molder and then push the racks inside of the proofer and help to the bake and slice and everything else. As one mentioned, 2 batches per hour is like basically the very minimum. You could go up to 3 batches per hour. It's 18 minutes, approximately 18 minutes to mix, from start to finish. And then, a minute to put it in, take it out the bag. So it's up to 3 batches per hour per mix. So this is important to know because you want to calculate the size of the mixer that you need instead of not to lose your investment. So you may need one larger or smaller depending on the pieces. So we help you to understand the actual need based on the pieces and the size of the pieces you want to run in every scenario.
Okay. We are getting short of time, Julio, so we'll have
Yes.
to. We had this other chart for the mid-sized bakeries and pilot plants. If we have a mid-sized bakery, we'll need more productive equipments, and also we could use one of these plants for like a pilot plant for a bigger industry. We'll have this information available for all the persons that are now with us, so we can have access to the information. But we will have to give some time for the questions. Okay.
Yes.
So I'll give
just
the
a
word to
Yeah, I
Lee.
want to go with this. I want to go over this like very fast. Once you start to have like a larger orders on, or you already are a large baker that I want to have a dedicated pilot plant, you could use this type of mixers that you put the mixer, the bowl in, take it out, and then you could put the next one in, and it's much faster. You could buy as many bowls as you need. You could do pre-ferment and in the evening, and then put in a cooler, and then you have everything scaled and ready for the next day. You have all the flexibility in the world. So in this case, then you need to have a dedicated mixer and one guy running the basically the between the mixer and the molder to assist whatever is necessary. Then the guy picking up the bread, and then one in the baking, one in the cooling and slicing. But with five people, you're able to maximize your production of like about 2,000 pounds per hour, 2,000 pounds per hour. So it's a very efficient way to handle those type of projects. And we at the end, if somebody have like a specific question, we'll be super happy to be with you and with specific requests.
Everyone, put your questions into the Q&A segment, and Maria will start with the questions. Go ahead, Maria. Sourdough bread requires a lot of fermentation, guys. Do you have equipment for that?
Yes, actually, one of the most typical way for our customer to handle this is with the bowls, as I mentioned. You mix the dough and put it in the cooler overnight or whatever is the time that you decide is the best for you. And then we just remove that at the specific time and then do the mixing. And after that will be almost as a straight dose, but you have set your mother dose or your Levance or whatever is the big ass into the buckets, refrigerate them, and then you have bowl number 1, 2, 3, and up to 10 if you want, and then you start to mix next day. After that will be like a very straight process as well.
Yeah,
and you
I
get
would
very
suggest,
good results.
just plan for space. With sourdough bread production, you need space because you need the time for your sourdoughs. And it's challenging because there are no standard practices for sourdough. You can have sourdough fermentation anywhere from 8 hours to 36 hours, in the industry. So it really depends on how sour you want your bread and the kind of taste you want to give it. I believe Julio and company has the ability to cater to you, but it's really ultimately your choice on how much fermentation you want, because the time is required for how much equipment you need. So anything is possible, just to determine how much time you need for your sourdough.
Exactly. And how fast after that you want to process. Once get the sour fermentation part, which is very requires a lot of space, as you said, is how fast you after that you want to produce. So you could have a big tank and cut pieces, or you have multiple tanks that have specifically the amount that you're gonna need. So that requires more space, but it is possible. It is possible to have everything the guys said. The key here is the most important part here is what do you want in your operation? What do you want to put in the market? So after that, we propose whatever we think will help you the most. PMs, it is something. Lack of PMs, it is the most expensive mistake we could have in the bakery. But always it's important to have maintenance. That will be depend on how the equipments are treated, and then we know it's tough to say. For me, the most important thing in the beginning is to protect whatever you have, and then we could evaluate case by case if it's necessary or it's time to change something.
I would add something, Julio, that sometimes we rely the responsibility of the end product on our people, and the equipment are the same. We are not thinking about how the equipment should be in the best shape. We expect from people to give the best result when they process the product, but sometimes the equipment is losing quality, losing maintenance, and the product cannot be the same.
So the answer to the question is the first thing is always try to take care of your actual equipment. After that, we could go over the details and see if it's necessary for you guys to improve something or to change something. Um, before we even think to sell, we start with a long, conversation, a very detailed conversation with the customer. So this is key in order to receive the right equipment, the equipment that will help. During the installation of our systems, one of us, most of the time, I'm the one traveling because I love to travel to do breads. So we travel to your facility to implement your formulas in the equipment. So it's not just to send the equipments in. If you buy just one mixer, that don't worth the time, but this the time for you is just a mixer, so we could guide you, over the email. But if it's a
Great.
whole project, we need to go in order to be sure everything you need to put out there get adjusted.
Yeah, I would say that the added value is that after the equipments are in place, we go there and we make sure that the dough is ending up in the product that the customer wants. It's not just leaving the equipment. That's what we talk about, the ally, the partner, the baker to baker. So that's very important for the moment when the equipments arrive to the customer, to make sure that the product is correct.
Not to think about your process. At the end, this is crucial for you for your growth. If
Yeah.
you have a very fast equipment, very fast, and it's not taking care of the fermentation time and stages you are handling by hand, then you will have a different bread. So for me, the most important thing is deeply understand your actual process, and then from there, decide which type of equipment is needed, because more pieces per hour is not necessarily the best for you. At the end, is the final product you want to sell. It is what will drive the right equipment to your process. That's, in my opinion, what is the most important thing.
Yes, fully
Think
agree with
about
you.
your actual product and how big you want to grow in that stage. And this is, just to have faster equipment is not the right answer.
I would add, Julio, that when it doesn't matter the type for your bakery, you should do the exercise of having different layouts of the future that you expect for your bakery plan, and make sure which equipments and how many people and the process to get the final product you want. So when you have those scenarios, you will be able to choose which equipment should I buy today based on my budget, but always in a planning the long term. Don't make decisions for today, because then it's very possible that you will make a mistake. You should think this is the equipment that I will buy because I want to have the whole chain in 1 year, in 2 years, in 3 years, or maybe tomorrow. Okay, but think in a very organized way. It doesn't matter the size of the bakery.
Yes.
I would also like to recommend that you take a look at your business plan for the next year, who you want to deliver to, who your potential customers that you could go to. And don't just buy used equipment. Buy new equipment that's going to work for you. And mainly because at the end of the day, used or new, you're going to put a lot more money into the used equipment due to downtime if you can't control it, right? And also, if you're gonna replace a old piece of equipment, then think about, don't just replace the same thing. Think about understanding, hey, if I can increase my output by 25% and the rest of my system can accommodate that increase, why don't I just get a piece of equipment like maybe the sheeting line or the mixer, increase it to 25% capacity at least, and see if my system can accommodate that change. So that's where I would start with as well.
Great, good. Yeah, Lynn, thank you.
Yes, that's an excellent question. And, for us, service is that service. It's not a business unit for us. So we not only have, spare parts in stock and our team members, but we also train you and even a handyman is somebody in your operations to understand that, and we could guide them like 24/7 with our team in Turkey or in our place. We could travel to your facility, but we train you or your team to to know the equipment as well. So we could guide you over the phone 24/7, or we could fly into your place. So it's I believe that's something that is different from us. Like everybody try to make more margin by the service part, and we give a service with our team, and we train your team to take care of the like little details, like a daily thing. You could have a schedule for a daily maintenance, a weekly maintenance, a quarter maintenance, and then if we need to fly in whatever from Alaska to Argentina, we could handle that as well. And we have parts in stock. In stock, we have like all little cable here and boxes here and gears and motors and everything in our place, because don't forget, I'm a baker. I've been in production my whole life, and one day without a line to be run, it is painful. So the other things we suggest is our customer, once you buy a line, we suggest a minimum stock that the parts that you should have. And if during the warranty period you need that, then we just replace it. So you don't need to wait. And that's something that most of the manufacturers, not as much of the artisan. The artisan could handle in a different way, but once you get like in the wholesale part, to have like a little stock in hand, and then if we need it in during the warranty period. So we just replace that, send that to you. So, but you don't have to wait.
Right,
That's
and
the way
that's
we
so
handle it.
important with in comparison to used equipment that people buy. Once you're like $1 million bakery, every single hour that you're down and out with the equipment,
Crazy.
especially used equipment, you're losing a lot of money. So it's important for you to stock the proper parts at your plant and to make sure that there is adequate supply, that your equipment supplier can send it over to you in 24, 48 hours, because every day that the equipment is out, you're losing money. So this is so much more important than a lot of people, put emphasis on it, right? They don't think about equipment parts. You don't think about bearings. You don't think about, gears and motor drives, all those things all add up to amount of money lost when your business is down. So, well, let's wrap up today's discussion. We are way past our time, and I would like to thank Julio and Juan for coming on and sharing your expertise. We look forward to seeing you at IBA at the Parlimas booth. And again, if you have any more questions or if you want to get some equipment ideas based on your output, please reach out to Julio. And thank you for coming today.